right, Fashion Dolls, and we're back. I am going to send this invite out back to Sharmaarke, so that we can continue this interview. Fashion Dolls, give me one sec. We did have a little bit of reception issues. If we go out, I do not mind coming back. All right. All right, and we're back. Let me add Sharmaarke back, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can continue this interview. If we go out, And we're back. We're back. You were saying you were talking about your start into the music leading up to acting.
Yeah. Just long story short, it got to a point where the work stopped, where the passion turned into work, and then when that passion became work, I fell out of love for it. And during that time, I was still doing commercial work on the side, but I wasn't taking it nearly as seriously. It was my older sister Nemo, who was doing the acting way more on a serious tip, and I was like, "What? I don't want to do no acting. That seems corny. I gotta stand there and smile, be a pretty boy." I was like, I wasn't into that. I was trying to be, I was trying to be a little wannabe gangster, but I was still doing it on the side. And the interesting thing was, as I was falling out of love with my music initially, I started to become more infatuated and become more in love with my acting, because I realized it had the same qualities that music had for me initially, which was like the creativity, self-expression, the fact that it felt like you weren't being judged. You didn't have to fit a certain criteria or stereotype. You can just come and be good. And if you're good, that's all that mattered. There weren't any strings attached. There wasn't any like, oh, you got to look a certain way, X, Y, and Z. They were just like, hey, if you can fit the part and you're good at it, we don't care if you have 3 legs, 1 arm. It doesn't matter. Just if you're good, you're good, you're good. And I love the fact that there weren't any like strings attached. And I know I said that again, but it's just that freedom, that creative space where you can just be unbridled, unfiltered. That was just super appealing to me. And then with time, I became more infatuated with it, and I stuck to it. And now this is it's been 7 plus, so 10 in total with my commercial background, which is like commercials and things, and 2+ years of me doing like full-on films and features and things like that. So I'm still learning. I'm still, practicing. I'm still getting better. I can always get better. So that's the beauty of it. There's always room to grow, and it's just step by step coming into that, and just making it my own, the same way I do with my music. Yeah.
Okay. So making it your own, let's go a little bit further. You've went to that for music, now transitioning into acting. Let's get into a few of your roles, and you have some projects coming up in 2022, I see. All right, so you are well known for your role in Pick a Side. Still Beautiful and Fierce paused, or?
Yeah.
All right. I thought we paused for a minute. I was about to strike a pose.
We holding on. We good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you have some other projects coming up in 2022, just next year coming up pretty soon. And we're about to be out of December before you know it. Like, the months have been going by so fast. So tell us a little bit about this Pick a Side, this film. What was it like being on set filming? Because I know it's been a lot of like delays and things like that with being on set restrictions, guidelines with a lot of actors and things like that and such. So for you, being on set, what was it like for you?
I think the fact that it was still fairly recent with the whole COVID pandemic, so we were still navigating and figuring out how to traverse that path with how do we still shoot features with COVID being a thing. What's the guidelines, X, Y, and Z. But first and foremost, shout out to Ed, Big E. He gave me the opportunity to even be the lead in that film, and I'll be forever grateful. Like, to this, it don't matter what position I'm ever going to be in, I'm always going to shout him out, because he gave me the opportunity to try that out, considering the fact that I'm sure there were thousands of other individuals who could have played that role, but he allowed me to bring his story to life. So that was beautiful. And him just, you know, working with me and figuring out, you know, the guidelines. Pretty much it wasn't as stressful as you might have thought, but it was more so just figuring out how we can work with limited personnel on set, or how we can, you know, exercise like COVID guidelines, like, you know, 6 feet apart, X, Y, and Z, you know, the temperature gauges to make sure everyone's good. And there were some circumstances, I believe, where some individuals had it. And, you know, we had to take some precautions with that and adjust certain shots. But overall, it came together great. And, you know, it was a fun situation. You know, the cast was amazing. We were cracking jokes, and it was just an overall just amazing situation. It's kind of interesting because, and I hope this doesn't come off weird to people, but COVID was actually a better season for me than not, because a lot of things started to work in my favor due to the fact that COVID happened, which is so ironic considering the fact that it affected so many people, you know, in such negative ways. And, you know, my heart goes out to them, but it's crazy for me. I had the opposite effect, because I was given a lot more roles. I was given more opportunities like this. I was shooting during COVID, and a lot of my progression to where I am right now all spurred from the back of when COVID popped off. And I was like, all right, it's now or never. And I think what it was for me, it put me in a position where I was working at my old job, and I was like, right now it forced everything to stop. And so it forced me to not have to worry about work, the grind, X, Y, and Z, and it allowed me to kind of just to kick back and just let everything process. And then I was like, all right, what do I really want to do? Like, what is it that I'm really interested in? What really drives me? And it helped me shift my gears, because, you know, we live in a life where everything's going. We always have to get moving. We're always in the rat race. We have to get to the next bag, the next this, the next that. And then when things stop, it allows you just to kind of like kick back and really reflect, like really ponder. And I had that opportunity to really just let things settle, you know, really let things just sit in me, weigh in me, and just let it process. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. So it helped me really just hone in on my acting and on my craft, and really pound the pavement, for lack of better words. And everyone who knows me knows that, like, I'm all about like hustling. I'm all about my work. I'm all about, you know, my dedication. So this really helped me laser in and just go in, just going crazy. So it was a bit long-winded, but yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. And I get what you're saying 100% about it, you know, putting a pause. And my mom said the same exact thing. Like I said, everything is so slow since this thing has came about, you know, waiting on food and things like that. But my mom was telling my grandmother this just the other day, and she told me the same thing as well too. God put a pause on everything. He wanted us to come together for a reason. That's why he did this. So, you know, for this to happen is only bringing people even more together. It's more bringing people even to more creativity on the table. Like, you know, people have become creative during this thing, like, you know, doing things virtually. Thank God for technology, the power of technology, being able to communicate with your family members, loved ones, especially during this time, the holidays. So I'm quite thankful for that as well too, being able to we went out for a sec, and I seen my co-host just slide up in here. Shout outs to Marco DePrince, who's the host of Hear Me Out. I have an interview scheduled next week with him on the 16th, so make sure you guys tune into that. And he talks a lot about mental health awareness. He will be with me on Wednesdays as well too, so make sure you guys tune in. We'll be talking about some topics. But yes, right now we are here with the handsome Sharmaarke Purcell. We're talking about acting and so much more in his career and his journey. He has some upcoming projects. So let's get into that. You have 2 projects coming out for 2022 next year. Tremor and FOR4. So
the FOR is still in production. That's still something that they're working on. I can't say it's dropping yet, but it's definitely something that we finished working on. Shout out to Watch Production for allowing me to take part in that. That was an amazing situation. Tremor is something that's also still we're still currently filming that one. We have a couple of shots that are going to be getting done next year, January. So that's something I'm still actively going to be working on. But as for FOR, yeah, I can't necessarily speak too much on that one. So that's why I had to throw up that T real quick. But it was definitely an overall great situation. I met a lot of great people from that I still keep in touch with. A homegirl through actually right quick. Shout out to Monty, and just it was an experience that allowed me to further like expand my acting rapport and just skill set, because there were a lot of talented guys and that pushed me, that made me uncomfortable, that forced me to get out of like a certain way that I would portray characters, and made me look at it completely different, as well as like talented young ladies who directed and shot and all these things. And we would have those back and forths about breaking down the character, like what's their motivation, who are they, you know, their backstory, creating all this extra goodness just to help give that person and that character a bit more, you know, substance, so they're not just like one dimension. And whew, I'm just saying, when that thing finally does drop, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be juiced. But it's definitely one of those things where I look at it and I smile and I go, yeah, I did that, and I see the progression of where I was and where I'm at, and it makes me kind of like smile, because I'm real hard on myself. A lot of people who know me know that I'm constantly always trying to up the ante, right? I'm always trying to push myself to the next level and say, okay, you did this, let's go for 10, let's go for 20, let's go for 30. And sometimes you gotta give yourself that grace period, as my girl says, and say, you know what, it's okay to take those wins. Those micro wins are just as good as those huge wins. And sometimes I'm so focused on the overall big game plan, I don't appreciate the small wins that come in between, that get to that final, you know, that final touchdown, for lack of better words. All those yards that get you to the touchdown, every single one of those matter. So 10 yards, 20 yards, 50 yards, it's all the same. So that's something that I take into consideration, and I'm definitely happy because I'm seeing my progression of all these projects, and it's making me a fuller actor. It's making me a fuller person, and it's definitely making me much more appreciative of the process, because it's like there's no steps you can skip. You can't just jump to the end and expect to be amazing, like, you know, Denzel Washington or all these amazing actors that I look up to. You have to get in the mud and really take it seriously and really grind and really get those fundamentals and those foundations down, so that when you get to the top, you're standing on solid ground, opposed to like a shaky platform that you just try to pull together because you just want to play catch up. And I'm not here to play catch up. I'm here for the long term. So I want to make sure my foundation is really firm, so I can't toppled over, knocked over, anything. I'm here, you know. But yeah, that was my little 2 cents.
Oh, go ahead. You're good. And yeah, you didn't have to speak on the project. Give us what the projects and things are about coming out. We're just,
Right.
you know, touching on them. You've got some things in the works coming out, and it's amazing, which brings me to the next part, manifestation. You've mentioned Denzel Washington. If you could collaborate with any actor, who would your dream collaboration be? Who would you like to work with in a film?
Ooh, it's crazy. I was just talking about this to my sister yesterday. Robert Bernthal. So there's 4 actors who I really love their style, that I'm studying like OCD. I've been watching films on them. Okay, so here's what it is.
And we're back.
Yeah. So Will Smith has re-entered my top 4 actors that I really admire. I had a love-hate relationship with the Fresh Prince, because he hit a plateau to me in particular, where I felt like some of his films weren't as powerful as they were. He got to like After Earth, where him and Jaden did a film, and it was like him passing the torch. And then he had a series of other films that came out, and one in particular, like Gemini Man, that I wasn't a fan of, and I was like, I don't know if he still had it. But then I saw King Richard. That film was gold. And you forget how talented Will is with how he can just study and adapt a character, and then just take on these traits and then morph into them on camera. It's golden. So I would love to do something with Will Smith, Denzel Washington, like I said, because Denzel is something that I find so interesting, where I feel like Denzel never plays anything other than Denzel, but Denzel as a person is so interesting that he brings a different aspect of himself into different films. I don't feel like he does anything drastic where he becomes a whole new person. It's just a different variation of Denzel under a different circumstance. And this version of Denzel under this circumstance happens to be interesting. And this Denzel in a different circumstance might be interesting. Denzel in Training Day, and Denzel in, American Gangster, or Denzel in Flight movie. They were all Denzel, but just different aspects of Denzel had he have been in this world or in this circumstance. And so that's always been so curious to me, because you also see method actors like Daniel Day-Lewis, who can turn into a completely different people. Completely. I'm sure you've seen, like, when he played as Abraham Lincoln, that is a completely different person as opposed to who he's done before. And that just blows my mind. And so Denzel, Daniel Day-Lewis, he's phenomenal. And then Robert Bernthal, he played as Shane in The Walking Dead. He played as the Punisher in the Marvel series that they had. And he was recently also playing opposite to Will Smith as one of the tennis coaches for the Williams sisters. And I was really gravitating to his character because him and I have similar traits with how he goes about acting that I think that I picked up on, that I started to take and add to my own repertoire. And it's so fascinating, because prior to me like really diving into acting, I never really like consumed film in that sense, as opposed to like, oh, I like the movie for the movie. But now I'm like dissecting it, like, oh, that's interesting why he chose that. Or like, look how he acted in this scene, contrary to this person, and how it does something different with this overall scenario. And so Robert Bernthal, Will Smith, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Denzel Washington. If I had a film with that, I'd be like, look, I'm good right now. I don't even need the awards. This is it. I'm straight. Thank you. I'm gonna go home now. I'm good. That's it. So that would be superb. So I'm working up to it, so we want to come back to this like 10 years later down the line when I pop off, and we're going to be like, whoop, see, I spoke it. You was here. Yep. We spoke on it. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Manifestation. That's what it's all about. And speaking of manifestation, with us leaving out of this month, December, we're not through yet because we still got a few more days to go out of this whole month. Then we'll be in 2022, January 2022. Is there anything that you would like to put out there in the universe and manifest here on this platform?
Oh yeah, I got a vision board. I write this down every single. This ain't nothing new. I got you. Yeah. So coming into next year, this is a rollover dream that I had. This is a long-term dream. And so I just keep working on it until it comes closer. So something I manifest actively is I want to be the lead in a Marvel film. I'm saying it here. I'm speaking on it. I'm going to be a lead in the Marvel film. And then also on a smaller scale, I want to be on a syndicated series. That's something that I'm trying to get knocked out within 3 years. The Marvel film is something I want to get looked at in about 10 years. So in 3 years, I'm looking to be on a syndicated series as whether a lead or principal, something in that nature, or even like a guest star. But I want to be on a syndicated TV show while I'm coming back at. Yeah.
All right. You were saying you wanted to be the lead on a syndicated series.
Yes.
I'm going to add 2 actors to that have came on my platform in the past and said, oh, well, one said that I'm going to work with Tyler Perry, Miss Stevie. I'm going to work with Tyler Perry. And this was the day we found out the verdict for Breonna Taylor. So it was bittersweet. And I had to kind of comfort him and talk to him, asking him how he felt. Of course, there was so much anger and stuff through the air. This actor was Sky Black. And he's on BET Plus's All the King's Men.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spill the beans, but we have a surprise coming December 20th, ladies, so stay tuned. But he said, I'm going to work with Tyler Perry. And he wound up on 2 of Tyler Perry's shows.
There you go.
The other actor, his name was, I cannot remember his name, but he told me that he was going to be working in a film for Wu-Tang on Netflix. And then come to find out it was him. He's working in a film for Wu-Tang on Netflix. He's playing one of these hip-hop artists.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. So people come on this platform and I asked that question because they come on this platform and they manifest it. Y'all remember on the Apollo, y'all have to rub the magic wood when you go out on stage. Well, you come to Miss Stevie's house, the doll house, and you put something out there in the universe and it comes through. So I'm not going to say I'm a good luck charm or, you know, anything like that, but it's all about manifestation.
Apparently, Miss Stevie, see, had I known what the get out of jail free card was, I would have just came to you from the beginning. I'm doing all this hard work. I should have just came and talked to you for the blessings.
Well, see, you never know. You never know. So put it out there. It's going to happen. You're going to get on the syndicated series because most actors that come here, you know, promoting whatever it is that they're doing, and they're just like, oh, Miss Stevie, I got something I can't really speak on, blah, blah, blah. And they put it out there and it happens. So stay tuned. We just got to stay tuned. 2022 is definitely going to be a fresh new start. And you guys know I lost my old Instagram page. I had 3,000 followers, 3K, and I had to start all over. So I was devastated. I cried and everything. And I said, this might not be so bad after all, having to restart. And my supporters, my fashion dolls, they are loyal. They come through and they support. So, you know, whenever I continue to keep putting it out there in the universe, it happens. And so it's not so bad. There's nothing wrong with starting over a clean slate. So what's a clean slate for you going into 2022? And it's funny you mentioned vision boards because I kind of looked over to the left and I'm the person, I love doing vision boards. I have like 2 of them from last year and just this year. I got to do another one as well.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying, so in regards to next year, with a clean slate, what am I going with a clean slate?
Yes, where are you going for in a clean slate with your career? What type of attitude, what type of energy? Because I know you seem like a go-getter, you're passionate, you're dreaming. So
yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I spoke on briefly that I'm taking much more to heart is, and it sounds cheesy when I say it out loud, but it means a lot. It's like, be kind to yourself. And not kind to yourself in a sense of like, you know, take days off or be nice, but like speak positive affirmations to yourself. Don't always beat yourself up when you don't achieve the things that you want. Don't be so critical. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself that grace to say, hey, this might not have been what I wanted, but it was good enough because it's somewhere new that I wasn't at yesterday. Every day, so long as you're working towards a goal, you're progressing, you're leveling up. So every one of those small incremental steps, back to like yards and football, every one of those steps count. Just because your eyes are on the touchdown, you're thinking if it's not a touchdown, it's not good enough. And that 10 yards was more than where you were when you started. That 20 yards is more than 10, so on and so forth. So for me, I get so caught up in, but I want to be here. I miss the small steps that I achieved to get there. And each one of those small steps are just as powerful and just as important as that overall goal, because all of those steps lead to the goal. It's like every brick builds the house that you want. You can't just get a house, right? You need all those small pieces that then come together to create the full foundation. So that's what I'm saying. I'm working. I'm not going to say I'm working on. I am going to be kinder to myself. Where if something doesn't come to fruition from yeah.
all right. And we're back. We paused for a second. So you said you're working on that into fruition. And again, putting it out there. I make a list. I keep a journal. And of course, I have my vision board. So for those of you out there who, you know, have already started planning what is going to be my resolutions, what am I going to work on to be better on? And Marco asked me that question just last week. My co-host, he asked me that. He said, what are something that you're going to work on getting into 2022? And I said, the thing that I'm going to work on is just not apologizing, being unapologetic about it, and speaking my mind anymore. Because I've said things and I'm just like, oh, well, should I have taken that back? But when it comes to standing up and using your voice, which is powerful, there's nothing wrong with that. So I told him that I'm going to go into 2022 with, an open mind. And more importantly, just continuing to voice my opinion on things that you see that are wrong. You see someone is being heard or like that, just continue to keep speaking out and bringing awareness to it. So yeah.
Right. Be true to yourself. Absolutely. That's the most powerful thing we can do. I feel like if you close your eyes and you're happy with who you are when you wake up, then you're doing right by yourself. But if you wake up and if you close your eyes and you don't feel comfortable with the person that's laying their head down on that pillow, then that's something you need to do. You need to do some reflecting and, start aligning yourself with who you want to be as opposed to who you are.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. All right, Fashion Dolls, it is time for the 2 games, and then we are going to take some questions from the audience, and then we're going to conclude. All right, the first game is going to be called the Rapid 5. And Sharmaarke has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without, and the next one, it gets a little spicy. This is where my guests get to interview me and ask me some questions, uncensored and unfiltered. So I don't know what he's going to ask, but every time this segment comes about, my heart starts to beat. So 5 things you can't live without, Sharmaarke.
Ooh, okay. Off the top of my head, let me think. My family, my girl, the gym, the gym. Happy. And they don't have to be tangible? Can they be whatever? Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, whatever. Peace of mind. Freedom.
Freedom. Good choices. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to turn those tables. And this is where my guests get to ask me questions uncensored and unfiltered. My heart is beating very, very fast right now because I don't know what he's going to ask me. So, Sharmaarke, you do the honors.
Okay, let me think. So, what is your long-term and your short-term goal?
My long-term goal would be to have this platform on national syndicated television, build my own platform. We've already got BET, which is Black Entertainment Television. I would want to build something in the form similar to BET, where Black content creators like ourselves, actors, actresses, musicians, singers, songwriters, whoever can come on there and promote their projects and have their own shows on there and their projects if they're doing films, producing films. So, Netflix puts Black films on there, but it would be something similar to that. It would be a mix of Netflix, BET, all of this and so much more, where everybody has all of their projects on there. And of course, my casting crew team, everything will be all Black because I believe in supporting Black-owned businesses. My short-term goal, of course, that's easy. I would love to do more interviews because we've already done 300 shows so far. And it's been a process. It's been hell, tears, and back. And I just can't believe we did it. So much consistency. So that would be my short-term goal. Just continue to build up this platform, which is doing so well and is skyrocketing. Because everybody's watching. Every time you look around, somebody's watching. Or, oh my God, we love this. We love this. We love this. We love how you modeled this. And I interviewed, who else did I interview? Michael C. Smith, creative, who has worked with some big name celebrities in the fashion industry.
Right.
And he basically was telling me the same thing. Keep going in the direction that you're going in. You do it so positive. You're
Mm-hmm.
short-term goal, just continue to keep doing what I'm doing, which is the interviews. But my long term would definitely be to have my own network.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I wanna piggyback on that real quick because that's interesting. Who do you better yet, how did you know this was the path that you wanted to go down in regards to what you're doing right now with the interviews? How did you know this was something that you wanted to do? What was the spark that made you go, oh yeah, this is what I want? What was that?
Well, when I was 8 years old, I remember I was in the doctor's office. I
Right.
always tell the story. And we were just in the waiting area, and I picked up a magazine. It had Tony Braxton on the cover. And I said, Grandma, look, it's Tony Braxton on the cover. And I was a baby at this time. She was just like, oh, my grandbaby can read. So she was just happy. And then after that, middle school, we had a project where we had to go home and interview our parents, like we were news reporters or something, like a hurricane came. That was the whole scenario. And we had to go home and interview people. And ever since then, fast forward, we could go all the way to high school. I went to work in a hair salon. That's one thing people didn't know about me is I worked in a hair salon. I loved it. It was such a great experience for me. And after that, because at the time I was in high school and I was graduating my senior year, our parents always ask us, like, what is going to be your next go-to? Are you going to go to college? Are you going to work? What are you going for? Are you going for a degree? What are you going to do? So I just sat home, was flipping through magazine and things like that. And I just said, well, let's give women beauty tips. Let's give beauty tips. So I started off doing that. Then I called up a few of my friends who are in the business, who are indie artists, musicians, actors, things like that. We came a long way. Oh, God. And I remember I came from days of holding up that tablet to having a tripod, the boombox speaker and everything, sitting like the person sitting next to me. It was so funny. But at the same time, this was how I started. And fast forward, just this year, I added male co-hosts to my show because men sometimes will be offended by, me giving the woman perspective on certain things. We talk a lot about relationships, love, life, pop culture, and things like this on this platform as well, too, not just fashion and beauty. And I got DMs from men saying, oh my God, Miss Stevie, you're bashing men. Oh my God. But I said, how can I give the male perspective when I'm a woman? How can I give that when I'm a lady?
Yeah.
So I added Marco, who was just in here, my other co-host, Johnny. It's three of us, and they represent for the fellas, and I represent for the ladies. And we all come together when we're discussing pop culture, relationships, love, different things like that. So it kind of shook everyone up a little bit. Like, we thought you were just going to be the face. No, I said, I got to do something to make sure that everybody's included. LGBT, cishet community, everybody is included into this platform. And so far, it's been an amazing response from everyone. Everybody disagrees with some things, but they do it respectfully. And that's what my platform is about, to educate people, inform people, not just the glamour, the aesthetic of it, the fashion. They see me, they think the fashion, the glamour, so many things. But it's so much more than just Style by Stevie, of course, the fashion and everything. But we talk about what goes on in the world. We talk about real life stuff that people go through.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell the passion behind what you say. You were so animated. I could see how it was something that really matters and means a lot to you. So that's when somebody is really just pulled and moved by something that they love. I can see it whenever just you explaining that concept and just talking about it. So that's dope. That's good to hear. See, now I know a little bit about you now. Now I know. Now I'm on game.
It was a little long-winded. I have to tell the story every time when people ask me that question because they don't know. They're just like, who is this? What is she? What is she offering to us? What is her story? Everybody has a story to tell. And my thing is this, everybody has to tell it on their own time. And you can't go out here and tell someone else's story, just like I can't go out here and tell someone else's story, the next person's story who's doing what I'm doing, because theirs might be different from mine. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well said, Miss Stevie.
You get to ask any more questions. You get to ask many as you want.
Let me think. Okay. So you already got the long term. You got the short term. You told me you got into. Okay. Who do you want to interview next? Who are your top 5? Who are your top 3? Give me your top 3 individuals that you want to interview.
And we're back. My top
Mm-hmm.
three, I would love to interview Viola Davis. My second one would be Angela Bassett. My third one would be, oh my gosh, Shamar Moore. That would be my top three right there.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I definitely would love to see that Angela Davis. That would definitely be very interesting to me. Hey, fingers crossed. I hope it works out. I'll be sending them some DMs too to make sure that they get on. Like, yo, I need you to tap in with the young lady, Miss Stevie. What's going on? Need you to make that happen. Make it happen.
Yes, manifestation. Manifestation. That's what it's all about.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Mel Safe Space. Make sure you guys please go and check in with Mel Safe Space. She talks a lot about mental health as well too, and Mel's Desserts, and she's based in the UK. So definitely please go and follow her. And she does like a mental health check-in every Saturday. Sit down on the couch with Mel is her show, and you can go in and they talk a lot about depression and so many different things, which is also something that we talk about a lot on the show as well too. So yeah. So I had to throw that shout out there to her. Any more questions while we are in the Turn the Table segment, ladies and gentlemen, or Sharmaarke?
I think I'm good for now. I think you answered a lot of questions that will keep that on the back of my mind. So yeah, thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that concludes the Turn the Table segment. My last question for you is, what advice would you give to up-and-coming actors and singers and songwriters out here who are looking to get into this business? Because like you said in the beginning of the interview, you were saying something like, you know how you become, I think you said something to the extent of when you become jaded or alienated by the industry. You don't want to do that, you just want to go straight forward. So what advice would you give to anyone that is looking to get into this field?
Yeah. It's hard. It's not easy. Obviously, it's redundantly hard, but keep a goal in mind of what you want. Set markers for yourself so that you don't get discouraged and you can track your progression so that way it motivates you moving forward. Have short-term and long-term goals. Know what you want and go for it voraciously. Be psychotic with the level of commitment that you give anything that you want. You need to look at it as if that is the only opportunity for you to succeed. Because I have this quote on my wall that I read every morning when I wake up, and it says, "Succeed or fail, you choose." And I swallow that and I circle succeed because it's so simple of a concept, and it's very true. It's like we have two options: you could win or you could lose. So you're going to do everything you can to win. And I think the beauty of it is when you're put in a corner, and like for my circumstance, I moved out here and I was like, I'm not going to go back home. So whatever happens, it happens. But I came here with the intent of this is everything that I want. So I'm going to focus on it. I'm going to go at it and I'm going to plan as if this is everything and I have nothing else to go back to, because I don't. So have a goal in mind, plan it out, keep track of your long-term, your short-term goals, and just stay focused, stay committed, work, practice, so that when those opportunities arise, you will be able to rise to the challenge and succeed. And they say success is when opportunity and hard work meet at the same time. So you get your work done, you're ready for those opportunities, and success will be there for you. So just be on your P's and Q's.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the food for thought right there. Continue to keep going and never allow anything to stress you out of the pressures of this. It gets difficult, but you must keep going in order to keep succeeding. Absolutely. And definitely keep that in mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to our very special guest for today, Sharmaarke Purcell. Make sure you guys are following him. Let everyone know where they can follow you at on all platforms.
Yeah. Well, obviously here, if y'all are here, follow me here. And honestly, that's pretty much all I have. I don't have a yeah, I don't really have a Twitter like that. Yeah, so just follow me here. I don't have a Twitter. I'm not on Facebook like that. I'm just Instagram right here at the real SharmaarkePurcell. And yeah, I hope to speak with all you guys soon and speak with the wonderful Miss Stevie again. And yeah, see where we are when we come to check out how our long-term goals and short-term goals will come to fruition. Yes, 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 yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
100%. Thank you so much, Sharmaarke. Monday, ladies and gentlemen, and Tuesday. Monday, we have KT Megson. Tuesday, we have the beautiful Lanita Harris, and we're going to get into some girl talk. So make sure you guys tune in Monday and Tuesday and throughout the week. We love you all. Please be safe during these holidays. Enjoy your weekend. Go out here and get your Christmas shopping done. I know I'm already gotten mine complete. So we love you. Take care. Be safe. And thank you so much, Sharmaarke. I look forward to speaking with you again in the future.
Likewise. Take care. Ciao.
You too. Take care.